into a little bit more, unpack it so that we can see the steps. First, who is it for? Go ye therefore. It is for everybody, right? We talked about that just a minute ago. It's for everyone. You, all you believers in the church. Then, where do we go? What to do? Where and what? It says, into all the world, all nations. I like Mark's account. Mark is always short and sharp. He says, go and preach the gospel into all the world. So it is all people and all places. That's who we are to go to and where we are to go to. All people, all places. What do? We should preach the gospel in Mark's short and sharp account, or in here it is to teach all nations, or in the margin or in some versions is to make disciples. I'm so glad this word teach occurs, because for a long time I thought this is the work of evangelists, and I said evangelism is not my gift. I'm not an evangelist, I'm a teacher. So kind of exempted. But hey, it says here, you have to go and teach all nations. Make disciples of them. So that's what we're to do. And then baptizing them. In other words, it's the whole program. Not just bringing them in, but bringing them all the way in. Establishing them as disciples. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. This is the commission that is given to us. And it needs to have the sense of being sent. We must go not just as volunteers. We must go because we have been called of God, but because we have responded and chosen to answer that call, we are sent. Now this sense of being sent is very important. It means that I'm not going about my own agenda. Like Moses in his first 40 years, no, that was not that. It remained latent in his heart for the middle 40 years until it was, this dying embers, like the coals of fire, fire's going out, and then it was fanned afresh by the fresh wind of God, so that it became a fresh fire. So he had this sense of being sent. We must have that with us all the time, so that when we go into a situation, we go into it with authority, because that's the main thing that is in view here. How can you be on a commission unless you go with authority, right? In the army, if you are commissioned as an officer, it means you are vested with authority to carry out. Now, I just want to look briefly in two places with you in John's Gospel about this sense of being sent. First, let's look at John 17. This is part of the great high priestly prayer as it is normally known in John's Gospel. John 17 verse 18. We have this word sent mentioned 2 times in a single verse. Alright, let's read that. John 17:18. As you have sent me into the world, that's Jesus praying, as Father has sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. So you see there the word sent being repeated 2 times, right? Now the Greek word translated sent here is the word apostello, from which I can guess, or you can guess it's the same word from which you get apostle, right? Apostle simply means sent one, somebody who's specially sent, apostle. The idea is being sent like an emissary, like an envoy, an ambassador, An ambassador, an envoy represents the country. He is not there on his own agenda, doing his own thing. He's there to represent his king, his president, his prime minister, his country. So, when we are sent as an envoy or a representative, this is what it means. We don't talk about our own things anyhow when we like. Every word we say counts. We are there to represent our country. And this is what it means to represent Jesus. It means to represent Jesus to a country, a group of people who have not known them. That's what it means to be sent. Another one is in John 20, verse 21. The high priestly prayer in John 17 was just before the crucifixion. This is after the crucifixion. In fact, it's the first Easter evening, post-resurrection appearance of Jesus. So this is the first evening meeting. After Jesus had risen again, he came into their midst, and this is what he said. Verse 21, Jesus said unto them again, "Peace be unto you. As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you." Now again, how many times do you see the word there? Send? 2 times again, right? Whenever you see a word repeated twice in a single verse, we pay close attention to it. So send. I want you to notice some slight difference. Just now, it's in the third person. Send them. This is send I you. It's personal. It's individual. Now, what I want to draw out for you, which is not apparent in the English versions, is the 2 words used here are 2 different words for send. The first one, "Peace be unto you as my Father hath sent me," is the same word that we read just now, apostello. To be sent as an envoy or an emissary, right? With authority. So it's the same. So that's the 3rd time apostello is used. But the second word, "even so send I you," is a different word. I forget what's the Greek. I am not a Greek scholar, so it's a word starting with P. But this is what it means. It emphasizes the relationship between the sender and the sent one.